Welcome everybody, Healers Star Club. Tonight what we're looking at is how to handle dominating people. Who's excited about hearing about that?
Yes.
It's a really crucial issue for a lot of people, because I feel it's one of the main things that stops people, first of all, being happy, because worrying about how other people. Can you relate to that? And secondly, it stops you from achieving your dreams. Now, as you guys know, one of the main things I do is train healers. And one of the main things that stops healers is being affected by other people in their personal life, and also the ability to work with clients. Because if you've got a really dominating client, it can be. I had a challenging one the other day, yeah? And she was like a queen from a past life, and she actually was treating me like she was a queen, which means that she didn't want to listen to anybody. Yeah? And I said to her, you could be a queen on your throne if you like, or you can actually listen and actually learn. Look at, what do dominating people do that annoys you? Let's look at that as a start. I call these, when people use aspects to control, like invisible tools, I call them space weapons. Right? They're like an invisible weapon. Yeah? So let's start with that. Four pillars of strength is what we're going to come and talk about later on. So, what are some tactics that dominating people use? Or narcissists or whatever you want.
Yeah, bullying type of behaviour.
Which is a big issue in schools, but also in work environments and also in relationships.
I think, personally, I find the passively dominating the hardest to deal with, or would find them the hardest, only because they would use not the direct tools of anger or raise voice, but alternative measures of either emotionally kind of blackmailing you, or being passively kind of agreeing with you, but at the same time trying to dominate you. I think those ones are harder to decipher, and I guess more complex to deal with.
Yeah.
I think they're manipulative too,
Yeah.
because they're always after their own objectives.
Yeah.
As an example, like guilt. Especially parents, they use guilt a lot on their parents, on their kids. But bosses, they make you feel guilty to try and get you to do something.
Yeah, they defer the blame too, don't they? Dominating people, they're never wrong.
Yep.
Try to intimidate.
Sash?
They're loud. Me included.
They're confident in being loud.
Repetitive. But they're oppressive too. Like for them, it's only their opinion that really counts. They're not open to other people's opinion and ideas, like Robin.
So like a superiority, arrogance, is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Well, sometimes it could also be tunnel vision due to oblivion.
What was that?
Tunnel vision due to oblivion. They only know their point of view, and they are so oblivious to the rest of the world. They don't even know the existence of other people's point of view.
Obliviotis is what I call it.
Yeah. So they never
99% of the population are oblivious.
Yeah.
It's not just the dominating people, but also a lot of people suffer from obliviotis and not aware of what's going on. And even understanding dominating people. Because what you're going to learn tonight is actually not about them. It's never about them. It's always about you. That's the important thing. Because as we know, the law of attraction, if you blame anyone outside of yourself, you're not taking responsibility. And that's why I like the word blame. Be lame. You don't move. Yeah. It's never about them. It's about you. And we're going to come and talk about that, why that is the case. Yeah, that'll really help you to disarm the whole game. Okay, so there's a lot of tools that they can use. Punishment's another one. That's one I had a lot when I was younger. You get punished a lot, which can be put in your room, or could be belted, or you don't get things, or you don't get your needs met, you don't get your dinner, or whatever it is, yeah? Or you don't get rewards at work or something. So quite often punishment can be a big one. So there's a lot of aggressive, dominating behaviour, and a lot of this is going on in the world. That's why it's very significant. We've even got politicians who are very much like that. Yeah. I don't have to.
I think we've noticed.
Yeah, we don't really need to name names, but you know those people, right, who have that dominating behaviour. And the reason that they are is because the world can't see it, and it needs to be dealt with. And of course, a lot of this dominating energy is between males and females as well. Quite often it's a lot with males over women, but sometimes it can also be women over men who are angry over men. Yeah, there's that competition thing between males and females going on as well.
It's about
Yep.
gender, it's not.
Yeah. Now, when there's a dominating person, there's really a power game going on here. Because dominating person is trying to overpower the other person. So it is a power game, and it takes two people to play a game. Yeah? And there's really two types of people on the other side, which you'll probably relate to one of them. One is the victim, and the other is the aloof. I play this game. Like if you've got a dominating person, you can choose to hide. That means you don't express yourself as a form of hiding. You go to your room, you don't talk to people. Autistic people is probably the extreme case of aloofness. They create their own little world because they don't trust people. Yeah. And I've worked a lot with autistic kids, and I can tell you it's usually caused by a lack of confidence with their parents. They're extreme empaths, and when they feel the world, and when that confidence gets broken with their parents, generally due to dominating energy of one of their parents, they close their world off. They go aloof. Yeah? A hiding game. Yeah? The other one is the victim game. What does the victim mean? We've probably all played that. It's the poor me. Yeah?
You take responsibility for it.
It's the poor me. That person has done this to me. Yeah? And it's about, and in a way that's about blame. Come in, Sarah.
Thanks. Sorry, mate.
That's all right. Grab a seat.
Thanks.
Just probably don't sit in front of the video. Right there will be cool.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, is that all right?
Yeah. So we're just talking about the relationship between the dominating person and the other person. It's a power game going on. Yeah?
Yes.
And you want to ask yourself, why is this power... Look, you cannot have a dominating person unless you have a victim or an aloof person. It takes two to play the game. And in a way, they're both playing the same game. One's not worse than the other. Because you know, quite often people, victims are like to blame and say that persecutor or dominating person is unfair. But it actually takes two people to play the game. Yeah? Has anyone read the Celestine Prophecy?
Yeah. A long time ago.
A long time ago, a very famous book. Yeah, Celestine Prophecy, have you heard of it? By James Redfield. Yeah, if you need to know any information about this, just talk to me afterwards or email on the meetup group. Famous book, and he talks about control dramas. Yeah? There's actually 4 control dramas. He only talks about 3 because the 4th one he actually plays.
Oh, yeah.
But he talked about this persecutor or the prosecutor, the victim and the aloof. And then there's the other one, which is on the other side of these two, which is the rescuer. And the rescuer helps the aloof person or the victim person. Now we can play all of these games in different situations. We can all be the persecutor sometimes, we can be a victim, we can be aloof, and we can be the rescuer.
Yeah.
But we probably tend to have a dominant one. Yeah? And for those guys who are doing my course, you'll notice that we're in the 5 elements. By your dominant element, I can tell you which one you play. The fire people play a aloof game. Yeah. Isn't that true? Yeah. Okay. Now, what James Redfield talked about, why this game is going on, is one important thing going on. This is really important to understand what's going on here. People are disconnected from who they are. If you're disconnected from your soul, what happens is you need energy. And you play control drums to get energy of other people. Because these are all forms of control. Because you're trying to control your life to get what you want. Being a victim, right? Poor me. This is really where a few people who want to be practitioners because you get a lot of victims. Poor me, this person did this to me, the world did this to me, right? I know that game. I played that a lot when I was a kid too. Yeah, I played that and that. Yeah, you get angry at that person who you feel did this to you. But in a way, both of these, all these people are playing a game to get energy. That's what it's about. And it's whoever's the strongest wins the game and gets the energy. Now, quite often the dominating person gets the energy. Like anger was one tool that was used on me a lot, which I felt very scared, and I gave my power away. I felt disempowered. Yeah? So one reason why this is going on is because it's about energy. Because if you're disconnected from soul, from source, you'll try and get your energy of people. And as James Redfield talked about in the Celestine Prophecy, there's a lot of this power games going on in the world to get energy because people are disconnected.
I feel like I'm a rescuer predominantly, but I feel like I'm in the victim sometimes, but
as I said, we can play. We tend to have a dominant one, but we can jump from one in different circumstances.
So
But in a way, the important thing is you've got to connect to your soul.
yeah.
And as we talked about in previous classes, like the reason why you have illness is because you're disconnected from your soul. If you look at it from a shamanic perspective, because if you block your soul coming into your body, then what you do is you block the energy coming into your body, and your body's going to develop symptoms because it can't work efficiently.
Yeah, I'm happy to meet with people, but if I know that I'm in that situation, then that'll be it. I'll try and stay in my power. And
Yeah.
yeah.
So ultimately, this is gone.
So you're saying that the victim, aloof, as well as the dominating person, all three are disconnected from their source
Totally.
and looking for energy, and through power of attraction, they attract each other to play the game, and then depending on who plays what role in it, the one seems to get energy and the other one seems to lose.
That's it. Correct. For them, actually, because the rescuer as well.
Yeah.
Because if people go aloof or victim, then a rescuer comes along and goes, they'll help the victim, or they'll help the aloof person. And I can tell you, a lot of healers become rescuers.
So what's the alternative?
But are they giving off their energy though?
Just let me finish. There's a difference between helping someone and rescuing them. And I can tell you why people play the rescue game, which is really interesting that James Redfield didn't talk about that one.
I just came from a situation.
Because I feel he was at. Now let me talk about the rescue energy. What happens with rescue energy is you tend to overprotect people because you don't want them to feel. So let's say you came to me and you're very griefy, and I come and hug you and I stop you from feeling grief. Do you know why I really want to do that? One is to get energy, to get your energy. The other reason is to stop me feeling. Because if I stop you from feeling grief, then I don't feel it. So really the rescuers are playing a game because they don't want to feel.
But feel as their own grief,
Their own,
holding for whatever reason.
yeah, their own
So they
emotions.
just shoved it off somewhere in a dark place.
Yeah, yeah.
And they basically it is stagnating inside them.
Absolutely.
And that aloof or victim person is kind of causing a reaction in them to boil it to the surface.
That's right, and they don't want to come to the surface.
Yeah.
So really underlying the rescue game, these are all social masks. These are all social masks. That's what they are. Yeah? Because they're hiding us from being who we really are. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
And if you want to look at it this way, I can get a colour that fits. This is our world. This is the surface of our world. Here is our masks. In other words, the false sense we put on to interact with the world. Yeah? These are all masks. When a victim comes to me, that's not who they are. If they blame the world, whatever, but it's not really who they are. Yeah? We'll come talk about that. Or a persecutor is the same. They're all playing a game, and this is why it's important. You've got to realise this, because a lot of people tend to, and even the media, they tend to say this person is like a person who shoots people. They're wounded, but people call them a nasty person. No, they're just wounded.
Yeah.
They persecute them. Does it make sense? No, they're wounded. We're all wounded. We're traumatised. So when people wear masks, yeah, it's like a false sense of who they are. That's what you show the world. And as a practitioner for those people who are doing the few students about to do my healers course, that's why I talk to them, yeah, is you've got to be able to see people's masks. See, when that lady came to me the other day as a client, it wasn't you, is I could see her mask straight away because I'm practiced to see people's masks. You've got to be able to see their masks, what they're putting to you, and you know it's not true. Yeah? Underneath the masks, this is why they wear a mask, because they don't want to face their pain, their unresolved issues they haven't dealt with. That's why they have a mask, because they don't want to face that. Because I can tell you underneath this mask here, does anybody know what's underneath this mask, a dominating person?
Fear of control. Insecurity.
Insecurity. These people are very insecure, and they feel they've got to dominate others so they don't bring up their stuff. Yeah? Now, when a dominating person comes to me, I reflect to them their truth. Telepathically, I'll say to them, yeah, I can feel you're very insecure. And for some people, I'll even say that. I can feel you're very insecure. Yeah? Underneath this mask, these are very insecure people, yeah, who feel they need to control their world by dominating it. Yeah?
Do you sometimes feel that before you meet a person?
Yeah. You can connect to a person even before they come. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
If you can really connect to clients before they come, it's a lot more powerful because you know a lot more about them. And you can do that energetically.
Yeah.
Underneath the pain is the truth. Now, as practitioners, you've got to be able to see this, and this in a person. You've got to be able to see their masks, their pain, their symptoms, what pain they got, and you've got to perceive their truth, where they actually want to go. But if you can see this for anybody in terms of people, if you can connect to those levels that they're putting towards you, then that helps you see it. Yeah? Does it make sense?